Hello and welcome. My name is Matthew here with Crescent Vale. Today we're taking a self-graded card review of a 1996-1997 Fleer Metal Michael Jordan base. This card is iconic for many reasons. This is Kobe Bryant's rookie year. This base card has been circulated through different selling platforms. We use eBay. But this card is one of my favorites. I think might be the card I've bought the most copies of, possibly of all time. The SkyBox 1990, the Fleer 1990, also up there for most copies I've ever bought of a card. But this card is Kobe's year. The shoe in the photo, I don't know the exact shoe, and I think they had different versions of it. I love the shoe. I never got to actually own a pair of these shoes. I would wear them. I don't know if it's like I have such a large. You don't need to know. I have a big foot, and me wearing tennis shoes looks somewhat exaggerated. I don't want to say I have clown feet, but obviously it's probably a similar size of Jordan here, and he pulls it off with a basketball outfit on, jersey on. I would not be able to do it with jeans as well. So there's a little background to how much I like the card and a bit about that. So disclaimer real quick, yes, every time we do a video, the grades are essentially my best assessment of giving the card a value. This card is going to be sold as raw. There is a custom label we use. We use a Zion slab. The grades are not guaranteed to cross over to other companies at a certain grade. The grades are not guaranteed to increase the value of the card. All that being said, this is my best assessment of giving the buyer. And essentially look at this video, look at other YouTube videos, and check out basically the card's quality. That's at the core of what we do. Is we make videos to be able to have the buyer say, okay, I'm interested in this more expensive card. Can I see different angles of it? You sure can. Not only that, we're going to measure the centering. We're going to take a close look at the edges, the corners, the surface, and let's go ahead and get into it. Right now we have a penny sleeve on the card, and we have a ruler here to check the different measurements from, let's say in this case, the letters, or this is the anchor point at the bottom, which is the logo of Fleer Metal. So it's about 2 millimeters from where the logo ends to the edge of the card, and very similar here. So on the front of the card, my anchor points are both 2. Essentially on the back, this top left anchor point of the 11 is something I've used for many times. And actually I have a 9.5 Beckett version of this card, and I have measured it, I've reviewed multiple copies of this card. So we have 3 from the top, and then we'll go ahead and measure this way. We're looking again for 3, 1, 2, 3. So that's kind of what I was assuming. The center on this card, we're going to give it a 10 because it's just so spot on across the front and the back. So centering on this card is getting a 10. And if you watch several of our videos, 10s don't happen very, especially for centering, if there's ever inconsistencies. And I've seen grading companies sometimes give 10s, even though I can measure and there's an inconsistency, but that's okay. But we're going to give it a 10 in this case because I can't find any inconsistencies. Surface, we're going to take a look at corners, and then we'll have a total score. Right now, starting off strong with a 10. So this is also the first time we've graded one of these cards, and there's a good reason why. I probably have close to a dozen of these, and they go, I think raw, it goes for about like $50 a pop. For more graded material, it can increase the value. But again, do not kind of take my scores as essentially 100%. Think of it as this is my best assessment. This is probably close to the 33rd card I've graded. So this corner is very sharp. I can't see any real imperfections with that corner. But this corner I could see some whitening, some rounding. So we could look at that corner as an 8.5. We'll take a look at the back of the card. But yeah, that corner is 8.5. This corner is closer to a 9 to 9.5. So we're kind of at a 9 on corners right now. That corner is pretty perfect, so that could be a 10. That corner is close to perfect. So front of the card, I think my overall is in between a 9 and a 9.5. Let's take a look at the back and see how the corners line up for the back. So that could be considered not as sharp as 100% possible. Possibly somewhat, not very much. So this corner is actually, I find it very fascinating because part of his shoe is white. So whenever I've reviewed this bottom left corner, I've always taken consideration that part of that shoe is white. So I think we could go ahead and arrive at a 9 on the corners because some are extremely sharp. Some have, you could say, like a little bit of imperfections. So for the corners, we're going to hit a 9 on that. We have a 10 on centering and the corners a 9. And after seeing multiple cards like this reviewed and graded, I think that is very, very fair. So I'm cross-referencing the cards whenever we're grading as well. And this card I've cross-referenced, I would say hundreds of times, but definitely dozens. I could say confidently dozens of times I've cross-referenced this card and saw how different grading companies have graded it. It's one of his more popular cards. So I'm not seeing too many flaws with the edges. Probably going to land on a 9.5 for the edges. Not seeing too many issues there. So we have 1, 9, 1, 9, 1, 9, 1, 9, 5, and a 10. So right now we're averaged out at a 9.5. And unless the surface has any issues, we'll probably land at an overall 9.5 for this card. Because I'm pretty sure the surface, I don't see any issues. If the card lands at a 9.5, I think that's a very fair score on this. I can't really find the corners having the only slight bit of imperfections to them. I think that's a fair overall grade. So yeah, 9.5 on the surface. Can't really find too many errors or really any imperfections, but I'll always say there might be room that I can't always find. But overall, this is a 9.5. Yeah, we have two 9.5 scores, a 9 and a 10. Overall, 9.5 for this Jordan. The centering is perfect, so that is nice. The corners, 9. And then edges and surface, both 9.5s. That is fair and accurate. I don't like to always give my cards as high of grades as possible because I feel like that is just self-serving. And it's also, I've heard other people say, like, is that a conflict of interest? Well, on eBay, every time you sell a raw card, you're required to put it into one of these buckets, either near mint, excellent, good. That's a conflict of interest as well for anyone basically selling a raw card on eBay. Now, the difference between that and what I'm doing is I'm being more precise. Instead of just saying near mint, I'm saying, well, exactly how close to mint is it? And to me, that's not a conflict of interest. That is just good business. That is a smart person saying, here's every angle of the card. Purchase if you like. I start off at a higher price point and drop it over time. As the buyer, you can trust me because you can watch exactly the videos of the card being assessed. You can't get away from giving a somewhat of a self-graded review on eBay. So this is my best way of providing details, feedback, analysis. I just want to say thank you for watching.